Right then, speaking of international football, of course, the AFCON takes place this year. Liverpool will lose Mo Salah to that competition. Maybe if they sign a couple of other players, well, we don't know where we're at yet, they might lose other players too. I just want to talk about the dates that Liverpool are going to be potentially without Mohamed Salah and the fixtures, of course. So the AFCON this year runs from December 21st to the 18th of January. So I've got on the screen here the fixtures. I've put the Brighton one down there because it depends on when Egypt decide to call them up. That is,
there is normally a date where they say you have to have arrived by, don't you? Now that seems a bit early, Brighton, to me, but Tottenham certainly.
Yeah, you'll definitely miss the Tottenham game because Egypt's first game, by the way, is the 22nd. I put Brighton in there. That might not be true. He might be around for that one, but Mo Salah then will miss at least Tottenham at home, Wolves at home, Tottenham away, Wolves at home, Leeds at home. He's almost certainly going to miss the Fulham game away, and then he's probably going to miss Arsenal given the knockouts, and then we'll see where Egypt get to with the Burnley game.
It really could have been worse, Chloe.
It could have. I'm not looking forward to that Arsenal away game, though. That is,
It's just two teams playing without a striker, it's fine.
I assume they'll have a striker by then. But for me, it's the fact that you look at last season and Salah very much got us out of there with that late goal, and the relief you felt of just coming away with a draw. But very much, I think Darwin Núñez's pass does really well, but it's Salah with the finish being so clinical. And you think this season where you'd be without him, without the goals and assists, it worries me, and it'll worry me every single time because he is our focal point. He's the one who gets the goals. Hopefully Liverpool do something hopefully we get Florian Wirtz through the door, but hopefully we can have a look elsewhere to make sure that someone steps up. We're going to need someone to step up, and the person who I'm looking at there is probably Gakpo, because it feels like he does step up quite a bit. But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. You could have seen, the likes of City in there as well. But that Arsenal game is definitely one their fans will be looking at thinking, here's where we can get one over Liverpool. But yeah, it could have been worse, but once again, it could have also been better.
It's one of them, Chris. Like, Liverpool have tended to do all right when Mo Salah's gone to AFCON, it's worth mentioning. And they used to lose Sadio Mane as well at the same time, and they tended to just to get through it. Again, it was a little bit later on in the season, and the FA Cup helped and things like that. For what it's worth, I'll just clarify in terms of how it's going to work. If Egypt are probably going to win their Group B. After that, they will play a third place team on the 5th of January if they do, which makes you think he's definitely going to miss that Fulham and Arsenal game. It's then a quarter-final, could be on the 10th of January, and then it depends. If they lose in that one, he could be back for that Burnley game, but he's almost certainly going to miss Spurs, Wolves, Leeds, Fulham, Arsenal. Which, again, it's not. It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse, and listen, I'll be honest with you, right? Everyone knows how much we've all loved Jurgen Klopp. I never felt there was a plan when those two lads used to go to AFCON. I just felt it was like
vibes.
Honestly, I don't get the impression that Slot's not going to come at this with a fully formulated plan and idea, which I think is being addressed in this transfer window as well. Like, I just don't think that Slot's going to look at that and go, we can't just play the backup for 5 or 6 games. I think, Frimpong, obviously a lot of talk about whether he'd be used over there. Wirtz, how is he going to be utilised in that gap? Is there going to be a more reliance on there? Could you see Wirtz step up in the absence of Mo Salah and actually take that team on his back for the first time after being integrated for 2 or 3 months, and now all of a sudden the main man's not there? Someone's got to fill the void. Who's going to do that? Is it going to be Florian? I just think that Slot's got a plan for this, and I just don't think it's just going to be, let's just play exactly the same and put fucking Shaqiri there anymore.
I suppose as well, Chloe, what I don't mind, again, Tottenham is Tottenham. We don't know what they're going to be. Thomas Frank's the manager. They're going to be completely different. I don't mind that in the nitty-gritty of it when you have those quick turnarounds, that it's Wolves, Leeds, Fulham. Like, Fulham away is always tough, but Wolves at home, Leeds at home on that quick turnaround, because as it stands, that's down for Saturday, Tuesday again. That might change. It could be Boxing Day. It could be whatever. But they're not the worst ones.
It feels like it with a Saturday the 20th, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe. That feels like there could be something there where it ends up being on Boxing Day at Wolves or at home to Wolves. That's where it could do you some favours. Where if you're going to be without Mo Salah in back-to-back games, really short period, the Wolves at home, Leeds at home is pretty ideal, really. You cross the Arsenal bridge when you get to it, and it is what it is. You're going to hope that your other players are fit and fired and doing all right. They'll probably lose our players as well, at least 1 or 2. So, but that Wolves Leeds turnaround being quick and both at home might be a big favour for Liverpool.
Yeah, it might be, and also what I think what you've got to kind of look at in those fixtures is get to Arsenal with, you've got to lay the groundwork first. Get to Arsenal with a way where you come away from that with a point and it's absolutely brilliant and it affects nothing. And I think that's the way you've got to look at that. And 2 games to do that with would be Wolves and Leeds. I'd like to know who they have in those kind of areas. To see how difficult their fixtures are compared to the Wolves and Leeds United game. But yeah, it's good that we've got them back to back. It's good that they're at home as well. We know how much Anfield can influence.
Might be better, to get us on the Boxing Day, to give us an extra day gap looking at the dates of those fixtures as well, mightn't it?
Yeah, it might be, because obviously we know that even if it is only a day here or there, it is really important to how much we recover.
I mean, Arsenal being on a Wednesday itself is interesting, Chloe, as well. Like Arsenal away on a Wednesday night is it is an interesting thing to decide to put that in the middle of the week as well. That's a big game to be in a midweek post.
It is.
That's usually the time.
I've realised that if I go there, I'll be back at 5 a.m. in the morning.
That's usually the time where everyone's knackered. That last Premier League game before they had the little break and the FA Cup stuff and that. So that'll be interesting. But that could just literally be last man standing, who's fit and available after what's been a really tough Christmas period. Yeah,
it might be. And look, the good thing, we've mentioned Jurgen Klopp and Slot a lot already in these fixtures. The good thing about last season was we were all probably fearful at the start of the season about how many injuries might happen, but we were comparing that to such an intense game and style in Jurgen Klopp and the way that we trained and everything. I think it's slightly different. We look after the players a little bit better. We just play with more calmness on the ball, nothing's as many turnovers, nothing's as many, sprinting forward and back. It's very composed on the ball. And if the right opportunity comes along to get that, to do that riskier pass, to maybe risk losing the ball, only then do we do that. So I think hopefully it'll also help us in terms of how we play. Hopefully we won't have as many injuries as some of the other teams, because we saw what Arsenal were like last season after going up against Manchester City. They were decimated. So it's nice that we walked the league, felt like we didn't really have to get out of second gear for most of it, and hopefully that benefits us fitness-wise and injury-wise this season.
What it might do as well, Chloe mentioned, Chris, so we get Wolves and Leeds at home, Fulham away before we go to the Arsenal game. For clarity, Arsenal on the Saturday, the 27th, pull at Brighton at home. On that midweek, the Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, they've got Aston Villa at home. And then on the Saturday, they go to Bournemouth. So you'd say, fixtures-wise, Liverpool in theory have got the easier little run into that game as well, where maybe the manager can make 1 or 2 more changes. I'd be shocked if Arteta can do too much rotation. Brighton at home, Villa at home, Bournemouth away. That feels like a tougher lead-up. So, again, it's going to be difficult for Liverpool without Mohamed Salah. When you lose your best player, of course, it's always going to be difficult, but maybe that's something that they can look at and think might be a little advantage. There might be a lot of pressure on Arsenal going into that game. You just don't know the season.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Am I right in saying that Partey's country didn't qualify for the AFCON, so I don't think they've got anyone going to the African Cup of Nations? I think I'm right. I think I read that a couple of weeks ago. But that'll be interesting to see who else is going from some of the other teams and stuff, because they'd have a slight advantage.
Zubimendi might be
the incumbent by that point, mightn't he? Yeah. So, but no, you're right. Liverpool having Tottenham, Wolves, Leeds, Fulham is slightly easier, I think, than what Arsenal have got planned. But ultimately, it comes down to it. I think we're the favourites for the league title. I think we're the best side. I think we've proved we were the best side last season. We've only added to it. It's about how quickly Liverpool can get up to speed, get integrated, and it's about whether anybody else can catch us. So, of course, you get fearful when the fixtures come out. But that fear only goes away by Liverpool winning games, doesn't it? And I think Liverpool have put themselves in the best position this season to win more games than anybody else in the league.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll see how AFCON, I mean, it's miles away. It's just something that I know a lot of people have been talking about, because the move into December is unusual. It's usually the last game is that one in between Christmas and New Year. That tends to be the one where the African players played and then they left. So this year it's a little bit earlier, and what it means is that they end up being back for like those FA Cup games and stuff, when really you wouldn't mind them being away for those maybe League Cup games.
Well, listen, he's gonna, if he goes let's say he gets to the Arsenal game and they get knocked out in that quarters or whatever, I think you give him those FA Cup games off anyway. I think the manager will be looking to try and give him a sort of mid-season break.
He could even miss Bailey at home, couldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I think depending on the results of the side, you do everything you can so the Salah's fit and fine for the running, because I'm sure we're going to get on to it, but the last 6 aren't easy either, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's the AFCON chat done. It'll be fine. They'll just win all the games. Florian Wirtz will be boxing, they'll crack on, and it'll be jobs are good.